I don't think it'll be an issue unless there's a conversation after, but I think we're good to go. So I just want to welcome all of you to our first ever short play reading series, which we are starting thanks to Matt Boyle, who has been working with me for a while. For those who don't know me, my name is Aimee Levesque. I'm the Executive Director of Inclusive Theater of Western New York. And we have some cast members as well as Dallas Taylor, who is an artistic director at Inclusive. And one of the things Matt and I talked about, because we do a Saturday series on inclusion of the arts, was to start actually doing some production of plays. Part of that is because, we can't get into theaters, but also some of the folks that we work with who are actors, even after the pandemic everything is deemed safe, right? We will still be doing performances via this format for the safety of some of the folks that are members of Inclusive Theater. For those that aren't familiar with us, I encourage you to hop on inclusivetheaterofwesternNewYork.com. We've been around for 5 years, and oops, somebody's coming in. I'm gonna have to hide here. And we work very hard to promote cultural, racial, able, disabled folks. We want everybody is welcome to participate in inclusive theater. And by doing so, we hope that people realize, we're working very hard to do work at the same level that is expected of other theater companies. We don't hope that people don't feel that we are not doing that. So I'm just going to turn over right now. Again, so thank you, Matt, for helping initiate this. We will be
no problem
plays every month. Next month we have Donna Hoke, plays by Donna Hoke, and the following by TJ Snodgrass. And then from that point on, we're going to be continuing. If anybody's interested in being a part of these readings, we also have auditions coming up on Sunday and Monday evening. So just drop us a line at inclusivetheaterofwesternNewYork@gmail.com. And again, really quickly, for those who are just joining us, if you are you're here for the play performance, the only video that is going to be on is the actors. And after that point, we will open up after each play for conversation with the director, writers, and actors, okay? So I'm just gonna turn everything over right now. Please keep your phone and video muted at all times until we say it's cool to unmute, okay? So Queen, I'm gonna turn it over to you, the director of our first short play, which is Lawn Wars, written by Matt Boyle.
Thank you, and welcome to our show. We have Lawn Wars today, written by Matt Boyle, and we have Dallas playing Richard O'Brien and Anthony playing Dan O'Boyle. This is Lawns Divide and Unite Americans. Can two neighbors really get along, or at least agree to disagree about their lawns? Dan Boyle is using an electric mower. He is wearing headphones. He is singing Colors of the Wind, loud and off key. He is sobbing, and sobbing will build to a crescendo. I hope that you enjoy our show.
You think I'm an ignorant savage, and you've been so many places, I guess it must be so. But still I cannot see the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn the things you never knew, you never knew. Blue moon grinned of the mountains of the wind, paint colors of the pine trails of the forest, taste the berries, earth, riches all around, never wonder worth. The rainstorm and the river are your brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected with each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? You cut it down, then you'll never know.
You want something, Boyle?
Dan. My name is Dan.
Your mailbox says Boyle.
Dan is my first name. Dan Boyle. The other kids in Annunciation School would tease me and sing, "Oh, Danny Boyle."
I don't get it.
You know, "Oh, Danny Boyle, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and on the mountainside."
I still don't get it.
Oh, Brian, are you even Irish?
Of course, I'm Black Irish with a name like O'Brien.
Well, then let the clover grow. You'll never find a lucky four-leaf clover with your pathological drive to mow everything that grows to a half-inch in height.
That's not true.
Oh, come on.
No, the recommended height to trim is 3/4 of an inch. That encourages roots to spread, holds down the soil better.
Look, O'Brien, how about you and I go in?
You know, I have a first name too.
Oh, you do? Of course you do.
Yeah, it's Richard. People call me Dick.
I bet they do.
I heard that. Who are you talking to anyway?
Know him. And I don't particularly want to talk with you, O'Brien.
It's Richard.
Dick.
I don't like how you said that. Maybe we should just keep it as Brian O'Brien and Boyle, all right?
Well, that's probably best, O'Brien. Look, I don't like you and you don't like me. We happen to be neighbors. There's a law that says neighbors need to like each other, that neighbors need to get along.
No, it's just that.
No is right. Look, you like to cut your lawn a lot and spend your time on your gas-guzzling ride-on mower, edge your edges, and then when the season changes, you transition into the fossil fuel, ear-splitting leaf blower. You're constantly putting poisons in my earth for the perfect shade of unnatural, natural green lawn. And heck, you don't even use the damn thing. I never see you use the lawn for anything other than caring for it.
Boyle, you would do well to give your lawn some care, or at least try to cut it before it gets to the wild African savanna grassland point. A few times I thought WNY either moved or died.
Oh, so I have to cut my lawn for you and to your desired height, huh?
Lawn maintenance is just a common courtesy, a communal good. Did you even dig? Does that sink into your hippie head?
Do you ever think, O'Brien, that you don't own your lawn? Your lawn owns you.
Not true. I just take care of my lawn and have some self-respect.
Oh, and I don't?
I don't know, Boyle. I, for one, wouldn't be caught dead with a lawn like yours.
Oh, and I'm supposed to, you want me to be more like what, Corey, I guess?
Ooh, Boyle.
Oh, yeah, I found a fine place to live in between an anally retentive, wannabe golf course groundskeeper and one of the richest guys in the neighborhood. Heck, one of the richest guys in town, maybe even the state, yeah.
Boyle.
When Corey's lawn service comes to visit twice a week, it's like a SWAT team descending on the neighborhood. It's like I live on the Imperial-occupied planet. They roll up, no. They rumble down the street, and then the multiple vehicles roar out of the back of their Death Star Imperial AT-AT Walker.
Boyle.
Oh, don't try to stop me, O'Brien. I'm on a metaphysical roll with this one.
Boyle.
Oh, what are you afraid? He'll hear me?
Nope, I'm not.
Oh, Corey, is the Emperor Palpatine to your leather boot, fascist goose-stepping, leaf-blowing?
Yeah, you're definitely on a roll.
Damn straight I am. Corey, you are the Emperor Palpatine, complete with the Darth Vader and his loyal lawn service Kentucky bluegrass stopping stormtroopers.
You done?
I think so.
Good.
That was fun. I really enjoyed that.
Good.
Do you think Mr. Corey heard me?
Oh, I know he didn't.
Yeah, you're probably right. He's never around anyway.
No, Boyle, he's dead.
What?
Corey's dead. He died.
What?
You didn't hear? That's why I even thought of talking to you today. You know, to tell you that Corey died. The funeral is Saturday and the viewing is today and tomorrow. The estate sale is next week.
Wow, that's it, huh?
What?
When'd he die?
Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday. And the funeral is Saturday?
Yup.
Doesn't that mean anything to you, you soulless, Miller Lite swilling bastard John Deere riding fascist?
Tell me, Boyle, what the hell is this supposed to mean? People die. We arrange a viewing and we have a mass memorial service and we bury them. Or cremate them, I guess. Those are pretty much the options.
Figures. Really figures. Your lawn always told me that you were sterile and barren. Don't you get it? His lawn service didn't save him. Your lawn will not save you either. The Grim Reaper sits atop his own giant John Deere ride-on, and no lawn service or leaf blower or well-manicured lawn will separate me from him or you from him. In the end, we're all mulch.
I'll tell you this, Boyle. He was a great neighbor. Corey cared. And what a beautiful lawn.
What?
Corey was a good neighbor.
What? I never saw him. I saw his lawn service thugs more often than I saw him. A good neighbor? Really? Really? Did you even know him?
I spoke with him once, I think.
Yeah, great neighbor. Look, O'Brien, we can negotiate a truce over this lawn thing, can't we?
Why? Really, why would we?
For Corey's sake?
Terms?
I'll cut the lawn twice as often as I currently do.
And
You cut the lawn half as often as you currently do. It gives you more time with your wife and family.
death before that.
Well, then I guess the war continues, and Corey's death means nothing.
Corey would probably like me better than you anyway, Boyle. I know his lawn philosophy was more in line with mine.
Well, the struggle continues. See you in hell, dick. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. And whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can hold the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
It's O'Brien to you, Boyle. And I'll see you on the other side of the grass.
Woohoo! Great job, great job.
Yay!
So right now, everybody has the capability to talk if they so choose. You can ask questions. You are also welcome to turn on your video if you are also inclined to do so.
They're truly short plays for this. They try to keep the whole thing to less than an hour.
All right, so there's hello, Benelli. How are you? Matt, let me get you back up here too.
really bad person.
Here we go.
Resize window.
Are you able to get back on here? All right, so does anybody have any questions for our actors? So we have Dallas, who played Richard O'Brien, and Anthony, who played Mr. Boyle. Mr. Boyle. I have a question. I'll start since nobody else said anything. I want to know, Queen, this was the first time you've ever directed a play.
Yes.
What'd you think?
I felt it. I really did. And I was just lucky enough to have these two guys and you and Matt, and I loved it. My passion is still acting before a crowd, but I really did like it.
Jen Weber's in on the conversation. She directed it in Springville, that theater mecca.
Jen, are you here? Oh, she's muted. Hold on, unmute and see if we.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. You locked me off of video.
No,
Yeah, me too. Yes, me too.
I'll
Me
put
too.
everybody back on.
We're on.
Start my video. Click start my video.
Hi. There are a bunch of us here.
Hello, bunch of us here.
Hey,
Oh, cool.
Start my video.
Sure.
Hi, Heather.
Video.
at the Weber Wonderland.
We are. Wait, there's also.
Oh, hi, I'm here too.
Wait, why aren't you in there?
Hey,
Oh, Heather too.
We're not
Okay, here we are. Hello.
Bad people.
have you guys been drinking?
Not yet.
Yes.
Not
As
yet.
a matter of fact, I have.
It makes the
Queenie,
plays
good
better.
job.
Makes
Yes,
the plays
great
better.
job.
Thank you.
You did awesome.
That was my first play I directed also for Matt. So that was my first time that I did something. So
Well, that was a great job by everybody. The acting was great. Really, this can't be easy to do. So, no, the acting just, it met writing. It was perfectly matched. I do have to say that being a writer, I appreciated writing. I think that could be read in the subway, you know, with all the noise and everything. It would still, those words would still be good. I don't know if it's improved it a little bit or whatever it is, but it has weathered very well.
Well, and an interesting fact, I don't know if you can see Dallas with the ice on his face. He just had 6
Oh, yeah.
people 2 days ago.
Yes.
So, I mean, today must be a pain day because he didn't have ice on yesterday.
How'd it go, Dallas?
Dallas, we can't hear you. I don't know. You're on, but
My mic is off.
Oh.
Thank you.
Gee, your acting was so good, we couldn't tell.
He's in a lot of pain.
Oh,
and it is a little more swollen today too.
I missed it. What happened? What happened? Dallas?
I had wisdom teeth pulled on Thursday. 6 teeth
How
pulled.
many?
6.
6.
6 teeth.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's
I'll-
crazy.
I also think the medicine is starting to kick in. That's why I'm a little bit.
Oh. You did a great job, Dallas. You
Yeah.
too, Anthony.
Yes, you did it. Awesome job. Good singing, Anthony. You have a nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
True story. He sings so good.
Yeah.
Queen and I were like, dude, you got to make it terrible because you sound really, really.
Ah.
And he's like, okay, well, let me do this. I'm like, no, it's got to be worse because even that, you're holding and hitting every single note. He did so well.
I tried.
Is it hard, do you think, as actors?
I have to go to another room.
Okay. As actors to, you know, you're used to being on stage or, you know, somewhere doing some kind of performance. How was it for you to jump over to, you know, being on a screen? I mean, you're virtually acting in, you know, in a solo space. You're engaging, but it's much different, right?
For me, I guess it was more, at least, you know, I could see Dallas, so it was nice to kind of just play off of him and be able to at least look at him from here, so it helped.
Same way, I think when Anthony said just being able to see the other actor, but also for me, I think it was a little bit easier because I have trouble projecting my voice, but I can just speak into a microphone here and I don't have to work as much, so that helped a lot.
Yeah.
So COVID is good for you.
And everybody's freezing.
Well, Amy, I changed into my costume. I'm a homeless man.
That was like magic.
Yeah, theater magic. I don't know if Andrew's ready.
I'm ready. Am
Okay.
I on?
Andrew's ready.
Freezing?
No, he's a homeless man.
Okay.
Say I'm a homeless man.
You're not freezing, or are you freezing in general? Is that what you're saying with the film?
Yeah, the screens are freezing.
I'm like, wait, maybe he is cold. I don't know.
No. The screens are freezing. I'm not getting a lot of audio.
So what I'm
Is
going
my-
to do then is I'm going to start, if you can help me, whomever you are, stopping your mic and your video. So that way we can start getting everyone set up for the next show. And that will give us time also at the end. It'll give us a little bit of extra time before we get started. Whoops.
Could you start my video?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, there we go.
That's what we got here. We got to close out this one. All right. So we have just the two of you. Oh. There we go. Okay, so the second play that we have this evening is called Brotherhood of the Whirlpool Box. It's also a 10-minute play by Matt Boyle. The characters are Robert Davis and Curtis Rose. The time and place is an alleyway in a Northeast American city, late fall, early winter. And as the curtain opens on the alleyway, Robert Davis enters from the stage right. A large appliance box is center stage. Robert has a jacket on, suggesting late fall weather. He's carrying a clipboard. He approaches the box and knocks on it as someone would knock on the door.
Anyone home? Come on, I know someone's in there. I gotta get home. Come on, I just need one more interview for this assignment. I have water bottles and a McDonald's gift certificate.
I heard you knock the first goddamn time. Can a man sleep in his own box in peace any goddamn more? I don't want your damn water bottle. I don't care about your goddamn interview. You can shove your goddamn McDonald's gift certificate where the goddamn sun ain't about to shine, and how goddamn insensitive is it to tell a goddamn homeless man living in a box that you gotta do one last interview so you can get home?
Please.
Now, why the fuck didn't you lead with that in the first place? Did you think I was an animal or something? Or that I didn't speak English? Or something? Your mama should have taught you better. Now, what's this assignment about?
It's a fascinating study that my dissertation mentor is the lead researcher for, and I hope to co-author. It's on the socioeconomic commonalities between homeless dyads and triads and pair
Oh,
groupings.
wait. Hey. I ain't no damn dyad.
No. You don't understand. Why should you? As Dr. Cartwright always tells me, when nervous or in trouble, just get back to the script. Good afternoon. My name is Robert Davis. I'm a sociology graduate student at the New York University, and
Robert Davis.
yeah,
You're shitting me. How much more fucking white bread could your name be?
it's my name.
No, it's not. You must just be reading off the page or something. No one's really named Robert Davis anymore.
It's just my name.
Yeah. Do you have any ID to prove you are who you say you are?
I have my school ID.
Come on, give it over. Give it over here.
I don't have to prove who I am. What's your name?
My name is Gladiator.
No, really. What's your name?
My name is Marcus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, and loyal subject to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Great. Another nut job.
Robert Davis, did you say something?
No.
You sure?
No. I mean, yes.
'Cause I was pretty sure you were questioning your interview subject's sanity.
No, I wasn't.
His grasp of reality?
No, I wasn't. First question. How long have you been homeless?
Because I'm quite sure the NYU Institutional Social Science Review Board's guidelines for subject interviews hasn't really changed that much in the 5 years I've been absent from the graduate faculty.
Excuse me?
The study you're doing, it was approved by the NYU ISSR Ethics Board, wasn't it?
Are you trying to tell me that you were on the faculty at NYU, the sociology department?
No.
Thank God.
No, I was tenured in the psych department at Columbia. NYU and Columbia had the same standard social sciences ethical review boards.
What?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to some answers.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Wait a minute. Are we doing lines from A Few Good Men?
You know, my Nicholson was impeccable. Your Cruise was a little lame.
So, what is the truth? Are you a former professor or a movie buff? Or are you just plain batshit crazy? Or am I the one who's crazy?
Luke, I am your father.
I'm leaving.
You know what? You wake up every day, you go to work, you think you're in charge of your life. Then one day, you're sitting in your office talking to a young, attractive graduate student about her dissertation, and you're thinking about golf. And when will this meeting be over? Then the phone rings, and it's the department secretary, and she says there's a call for you from the police, and they say it's important that they speak to you. You tell her to put them through. You ask the grad student to wait in the hall because it's a personal call that you need to take now. She says sure and leaves. You wait a second or two. Your mind is racing about what the fuck could the cops want to talk to you about? Then they finally get on the phone. They ask if your name is Professor Curtis Rose, and you say yes. And they say, they're sorry to inform you that your wife was in an accident with your 3 children. Your wife wasn't speeding or anything. Your family was on the off-ramp going to the Bronx Zoo when a drunk white bastard, drunk at 10 o'clock in the goddamn morning, mistook the off-ramp for the on-ramp to the motherfucking Bronx River Parkway. And your whole family is dead. And oh yeah, as if it matters much and is like a consolation prize, the drunken white idiot is dead too.
I'm sorry.
So you bury your wife and your children. You don't go to work, and they understand for a few weeks, few months. They say that pretty young graduate student will cover some of the courses and some of the other professors will cover the other classes. Then they call and they say they're real sorry, but when do you expect to come back to work? And then one day you decide not to shave and not to eat and not to get out of bed. And you don't shave or eat for a few days. And then you finally get out of bed and you look at yourself in the mirror and you think you look like a bum. So you go for a walk in your dirty clothes and you fall asleep on a bench. And it's then that you realize being a bum is a blessing for today.
Professor Rose, I apologize. Is there anything I can do?
I have come to the crossroads in my life. I always knew what the right thing to do was. Without exception, I knew, but I never took the right path. You know why? It was too damn hard.
Wait a minute. Isn't that from Scent of a Woman?
Ooh, women! What can you say? Who made them? God must have been a fucking genius. The hair. They say the hair is everything. You know, have you ever buried your nose in a mountain of curls? Just wanted to go to sleep forever, or lips, and when you touched, yours were like that first swallow of wine after you just crossed the desert.
That is Scent of a Woman.
Ooh-ah!
You bastard. Come on, tell me the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
My God, we're doing A Few Good Men again.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm leaving. Whoa, 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 whoa.
After the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost souls, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
You got a gun.
How astute. Shit just got real fast.
You have got a gun.
AK-47, the very best there is when you absolutely, positively got to kill every motherfucker in the room. No substitutes.
Pulp Fiction?
No, Jackie Brown, and this ain't no AK-47 either. Now, get in the box.
What?
I like quoting movies, but I don't like repeating myself, and I have a large gun. So I'd recommend getting in the box.
All right. Now what?
Pee.
What?
Piss, pee, urinate. Pee in the box. Me box as Sue box. Hey, don't unzip your goddamn fly. Just pee. Yeah, you know what? I don't trust you. Put your hands in the air where I can see them, nice and slow. No funny stuff. You wanted an interview. You wanted to learn about the homeless and triad and dyad pairings.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm gonna die. You're going to kill me.
Just pee. Come on, let me hear it. Pee.
I did it, I swear.
I know. When someone pees in their pants, you generally don't hear it. You smell it, but you don't necessarily hear it. There's your goddamn interview. Robert, you're gonna be okay. You're one of us now, a member of the Brotherhood of the Whirlpool Box. You're gonna be okay. Go ahead and cry if you want to. It's gonna be okay. Hug. Fade to black. End of play.
Woohoo! Good job.
Great job.
All right, so once again, everybody is everyone's unmuted that allowed us to. If you want to hop in and you can't speak, just hit it on your phone or your whatever device you're on. You're also welcome to initiate your video. If it doesn't work, I'll help.
I can't start my video.
Yeah, I can't start mine either.
On my way.
Yes, there we go.
Great job, gentlemen. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Aimee, can you do me too? Oh, never mind. Okay. There we go.
Okay. It makes me want to cry.
I know.
Ma'am.
It's getting in here slow. Okay. Sorry, I'm
Hey, Vernice.
Hello. Ooh, it's great to see you, hear you guys. I'm glad I caught it. Oh, glad to hear it. Wow.
Zuccari, Boyle, what a team.
Thanks, Finelli.
What a team.
Absolutely.
Veterans.
There we go.
Wow.
That's me.
Whistly feedback there.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Okay. Oh, Lord, that was awful.
I'm sorry. That was my computer went dead.
Oh.
So I had to put my phone on. Okay. Yeah, that's a very moving play.
Thank you.
It makes me want to cry.
And especially at the end, that was really, because at first I'm like, wow. And then it's like, but that's what people are going through on the streets.
Yes.
You know, and much like I always say, whenever I act working with Boyle, I mean, it's just the writing's usually so smooth that it's just doing what the words say.
Chris.
Yeah, Andrew actually peed himself.
Yeah, I did. Right now.
He was intimidated by this gun.
Method acting.
Insane method acting, you know me.
Yeah.
Either it's Laurence Olivier or Spencer Tracy who said, just act, man. Just act.
Yeah.
You act good. You don't have to do the real thing. Just act. You know.
Hey, Clinton.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, part of that play, the Brotherhood play, I talk to homeless people a lot, you know. They talk to me or I talk to them. And there was a guy in New York City, and I wanted to put the line in. Basically, his family had died. And the line I wanted to put in there was he talked about his keys. And he just didn't want to have keys anymore. You know, it didn't make it into the play, but he was part of the inspiration. And the other part was there was a story I read. You hear it all the time. You know, somebody driving, you know, the wrong way on the off ramp. So I just combined those two. So.
And what's interesting, real quick, about the key
And I have a
thing
question
that you
for
say,
you.
you know, it's powerful.
Yeah. You know, we don't think about that, about our keys, you know, and what they symbolize. Our car keys, our house key. You know.
Yeah.
Well then, if you're wondering that, maybe you should put them back in.
Yeah.
Why
can't you put that in?
Finelli with the words.
You got to get Finelli to do a week too.
We would love to have you do it's one of the months, so October, November.
Actually, I think I'm writing something that you might like.
Yay!
Yeah. And Lloyd, well, the theme is neighbors.
Yes.
So, and basically the homeless guy is your neighbor.
Yeah.
You just don't realize it.
Man,
yes.
I love
You don't think of him that way.
Right, and I you know, Queen, we were just
the guy cutting the lawn.
Right,
he's your neighbor. You know that one.
Exactly, and knowing who your neighbors are, and sometimes they're not always what we want. You know, we have our screaming words, right? but sometimes they're exactly who we need. And
It's also about the other, you know, when you see
Yes.
someone down on their luck like that, we want to otherize them. Like, that can't
Right.
happen to me,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I thought his reaction to being the subject of a study was,
Mhm.
you know, perfect, because, you know, his message was, I am you,
Right.
you know, I am you. And I think that's why it's powerful.
I'll tell
I
you
would
one
like to-
interesting. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to share something real quick. Back when I was married and just between the divorce and I was separated, I didn't have any place to go, and temporarily I was living in a car,
Yeah.
and I was very close to being homeless. It didn't work out that way. Luckily, I got the help and I got into an apartment. But I remember the fear of living out on the street and living in a box, you know, going to that fear. So watching this really hit home, but it was in a good way, that I didn't go to that extreme, but it can happen. And it is happening to people.
Yes.
So that was awesome. You guys put so much feeling into it. So real. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
I've known Colleen 7 years and I didn't know that.
Andrew, you were going to say something?
Well, one thing that
Yeah,
I
I'm
noticed
sorry.
that I feel is pretty important to remember when you hear or when you see this play performed is that the act of the homeless man holding the graduate student at gunpoint, everyone's thought at first is the same thing. You're like, oh, what a crazy guy. Why would he do this?
Right.
But then you remember, nobody ever really just chooses that. It's a great metaphor, and I think it's absolutely beautiful that he's forced to go in the box. Because one way or another, anybody could be forced into that box. Circumstances are different, but it was force that brought that guy to that box.
That's right.
Matt, I just want to, Jen has her hand up for a question as well.
Sure.
Is she?
Wait. Hi, I didn't know that meant I had a question. I was just raising my hand because it's fun. Hi. Yeah, that was like a wave, not a I have a question. So, hi. Good job.
Good job. Who directed that one?
Andrew and I directed each other.
Okay.
And my daughter Margaret Mary had some comments too.
Very helpful ones.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jen, I just want to point out that Andrew was in Killer Rack that we went to on Curtain Up.
No way!
That was me.
That was you! Oh my gosh!
No. That was Emily.
That was Emily, yes.
That was Emily.
Killer Rack.
That is, Emily and Andrew are mistaken for each other on a regular basis.
Right.
But
You guys are the twins. Emily Yancey, my baby. Y'all the twins.
I love her.
That's
I
if there's
do
one
too.
person that everybody thinks I am, when I walk into a room all 6'2", 260 pounds of me, I'm big, I'm loud, I'm Italian. When I walk in a room, everybody thinks the same thing. That's Emily Yancey right there.
Just so everybody knows, Andrew, he's a professional actor. He's part of the Alleyway Ensemble, but he's also a first responder. He's an EMT.
Wow, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Well,
God
it's not that a
bless
thing.
you.
It's purely volunteer. So I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to do it. That's why I've never been a part of it. All the more
awesome.
No, but still, thank you. That's critical.
You.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Mm-mm.
The Lawn Wars play, I sent it to some playwright friends in New York, and I sent it to some playwright friends in Los Angeles, and they don't get it because they don't have lawns. They don't have lawns.
What?
They don't.
It's,
You know, living in Western New York or in most suburbs, you get it. You know the guy who has lawn service. You know the person who, is always cutting their lawn. And you know the person who just doesn't care and thinks they're a slave to their lawn and, wants to let it grow.
I had to mute while you were performing because my neighbor got out there and started doing his edges, and it was so loud. And I was just saying it was going to be like, oh my God, I got to sit down. What am I going to do if it's still happening? So
what happened?
He got his hedge trimmers out, and he was literally right next to my.
Oh God!
Nice.
Oh my gosh!
So it was
Nice.
hilariously fun. I'm like, oh my God, this couldn't be more perfect.
So that guy, you live next to that guy.
I got that guy.
yeah, right?
But
Everyone on Long Island has all you hear most of the week, but especially on the weekends, are leaf blowers. All, if it's not snowing, you hear the leaf blowers. And here you don't have that, where I live now in East Aurora. And what I love about East Aurora is one lawn will be good. Most of them have weeds because people here are not crazy and they don't like poisons. And people are very suspicious of the perfect lawn. Like that person's using poison, and it. They even have the biggest dandelion contest here, but
cool.
That's the way it should be. Years ago, my husband and I went to Florida and we visited Celebration, which is a village in Disney World, outside of Disney World, and it's supposed to be the perfect place. I can't tell you what a creepy place that was. Everything was perfect.
Effort-wise.
Creepy.
That's scary.
And the only thing not perfect that we saw, and I thought perfect, you see all these perfect people living in these perfect little gingerbread houses with perfect lawns and beautifully decorated, and there's this kid walking down the street just leaving the village, and he's got a red mohawk and he's studded everywhere. And I said to my husband, I said, of course, that's what happens,
They need streams.
Perfect too. But that was when we first started talking about ideas for plays. The first one that Matt said, well, how about Lawn Wars? Like we want to talk about, our difference. That's where we learn. That's where we find out it really isn't different, that we're all very much alike. We just have things that might rub each other the wrong way. And Lawn Wars really fit that. And to bring it home with Brotherhood and really show the humanity in that. And that, to Andrew's point, like you felt that, right? Like you were in that position. You had to get in that box. And most times we either don't learn until we're challenged or uncomfortable, or we're put in the exact same situation. And I think both plays really, kind of embodied that, and learning about who we are, but also having to understand it's more than just, hey, that's the guy next door. But really knowing how we are with one another is how we change the world.
Absolutely.
I think Dallas had something to say. I thought I saw.
I was just based off that. I have a couple things. The one is not really relevant to that point, so I'll save that one for later. But just going off what everyone else saying, what Aimee said, this idea of talking to strangers, like as we've sort of evolved as people, we don't really know how to talk to strangers because the first thing we see is how different we are from each other, and we sort of, once we get to that point, we just stop there, and then that's where the communication ends. There's a book by Malcolm Gladwell where he talks about, it's called Talking to Strangers, and all these different aspects of we just ignore the fact that we're all similar in some sort of way, but we don't really make the sort of effort to get to that point to see what those similarities are. But the other point I was gonna ask, what inspired the movie choices for the Brotherhood play?
They were just fun, they were just, I thought of the questions that a person would be asked, and they were just, fun choices. And the Few Good Men was an obvious one,
Yes.
I don't know. I stole good writing,
Somebody's
know,
got
if
to
you're
do
gonna-
it.
Well, no, if a priest friend of mine, a Jesuit, who, you know, my spiritual advisor, you know, he always told me to steal from the best, and it's like, you know, Scent of a Woman, what a great movie. Gladiator, what a great movie. And A Few Good Men, what a great movie. And Star Wars. So, you know, so steal.
Don't paraphrase. Steal.
Steal.
And when you steal, go big or go home, you know?
That's right. Go big or go home. Now, I just want to mention that Andrew played Danny Boyle at Alleyway.
That was a fun time.
Yeah, with Chris Standard. Chris was going to do this, but unfortunately, Chris had a family emergency. So that's why I stepped in, and I did. That's why I played the homeless guy.
Okay.
Curtis Rose.
You played him good. You played him.
Thanks. Thank you.
You played him, yes. Y'all worked it.
I want to just bounce back really quickly to what Dallas said, and it goes back to last week, our conversation with Vernice, that we're that species, right? That we need to get beyond those identifying things, these stereotypings and all of that, and look at each other as the human species. And that's what we learn. And you said it so eloquently last week, so I'll let you.
But well, the only thing is, I'm old enough to remember that people would say hello to each other, or just hi, be you a drunk or be you a businessman or whatnot. And it was just an acknowledgement of each other's humanity. But then during the whole so-called diversity thing and issue, people got afraid to speak to each other, because it almost was like, if I said hello, you think I want to get into your business, compared to me saying hello and just acknowledging your presence. And that's it. And I think, not to speak against the whole politically correctness thing, but like so many things, it goes to an extreme. So it ends up robbing us of acknowledging each other's humanity, absent of being fearful of things being taken the wrong way. So going back to what Dallas was saying, as far as people speaking to each other and stuff, is we're afraid to, because we don't want to seem like I'm out of line or out of order, because now we have categorized each other so much that we end up losing the humanity. And as we was talking before, supposedly all these categories were created to make sure society was more equitable to people who had been disadvantaged in time past. But that ends up turning around and boomeranging back on us. So we're afraid to speak, afraid to engage, because we're afraid we might be misunderstood. So I think that's one of the, sad to say, residues of this whole quote unquote political correctness or sensitivity, diversity, sensitivity, rather than just saying we're all human and let's just respect each other and leave it at that. You ain't got to like me, you ain't got to love me, you ain't got to agree with me. We can accept we're all human beings and have a right to exist. And that's the thing with this piece here, you know, because it used to be nothing to speak to a homeless person. My grandmother would say, I don't care if it's a drunk, he's a human being, she's a human being. I don't care if she's a prostitute or whatever, working the street. And it wasn't even about it being, be glad it's not you. It's the fact that they're human and respect them as such.
And everyone we meet, you know, Stephen Covey in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talked about, you know, there's an incident on the New York City subway and a guy comes in and, you know, it's Sunday morning and he's got his kids and they're all out of control. And Stephen's sitting next to this guy and everybody else is quiet because it's Sunday morning in New York City on the subway. And he says, hey, you know, maybe you want to get control of your kids. And then the guy looks up and he sees his kids are a little out of control. And he says, yeah, I probably should, but we just came from the hospital. I'm sorry. Their mom just died. You know, so you don't know You have no idea of anybody. People don't even know who they are themselves. God's honest truth. You really don't know who you are at any particular moment. You think you do, you mostly do, and in terms of other people, you have no idea what they're going through, where they are at this moment in time. And 10 minutes from now, they could be someplace different, you know, and somebody different, and still be the same person.
I gotta go. I have to go. Those of you who know me, I gotta feed the horses. So
I said, good to see you, Michael.
Listen,
we'll see you later, Mikey.
That's not a euphemism. He really does have horses. I've seen them. It's not his way of saying he has to go to the bathroom or something else. It's not a euphemism. He really has to feed the horses.
Well, and just, you know, that's not him feeding the horses a great segue, but I will say, to your point about the stories, and we see this particularly with people with disabilities, is that oftentimes people tell the stories of those who have disabilities rather than allowing them to tell their stories themselves. So one of the things that we do at Inclusive, we've been on a hiatus for a little while, is to have a writing group so you can tell those stories yourself. And we've had a couple great plays come out. Quentin did a great short play that was performed last fall. And it was about, you know, what goes on in his mind as someone with autism. It was just beautifully written, and, you know, no one could tell that story better than Q. And many others that have been part of the writing group. The things that they do, the work is out of this world, and it's also super empowering for them because they're taking that back.
And it's empowering. We're quick for the audience as well, because as when I saw your first show at Hall Walls, Our Voices, I'm not sure if I got the right title for it, but the individual experiences, it opened my eyes, even though you call yourself thinking you're being compassionate or open to other people. But again, I don't mean to wear the one story out about Michael being out on a date. Okay. And stuff. And we were just talking about how theater is the public square in which we can tell stories with the boundaries of civilities. Even if we don't necessarily agree or we have our issues, that's the beauty of theater. And like you were saying, I mean, it's important to allow people to tell their stories. And what I love about your group, you do the work. So when you share it with the public, we can hear it, we can perceive it, and you also are respecting the audience's time to be there with you. So it's true.
I feel like I should pay you for that.
No, I'm just speaking.
You know I love you. No, I
know, baby. I know. I know you're just joking.
And
but
that is why we started this organization. I mean, it was to give voice to people who didn't have that voice. And, you know, as we've continued to evolve through over the 5 years, you know, that's still what we always return back to, is giving that space for folks to be able to speak their truth. So
we've also been blessed with some amazing people, and a lot of them are on tonight on this, and, you know, just people that gave 150%, you know, and just amazing, the people that we've attracted. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know how we're already at 9 o'clock, but we are. So that is the end of our time together, which makes me sad, but it's great at the same time, because now we can get to render this and put it online for the world to see. But thank you all so much for being here tonight. This was the first of hopefully many monthly series. Again, Donna Hoke, 8/8, we'll have 2 of her plays, and then I believe it's the 19th of September, we have TJ Snodgrass plays. Hopefully, although he's with those horses, we'll have Finelli coming up, and some sort of, and yes. And so we've got lots of fun events. Also, just a couple quick announcements. Next week, Aimee Teal from Teal's Niagara Theater will be here, and we'll continue our conversation on inclusion in the arts. And we currently are looking for 10-minute plays. So if you're a writer, if you have 2 that you want to submit, or even if you just have 1, send it to inclusivetheaterofwesternnewyork@gmail.com, and we will take a look at what you got, and hopefully we could get something set up to perform. Also, we have rolling auditions because with these monthly readings, we need actors. So if you are so inclined, please do. We have auditions tomorrow night from 6 to 8 and Monday from 6 to 8. We ask just if you would email us with a time so we can schedule everybody and they have their own separate audition slot. And we're putting everybody, you know, wherever we can best accommodate. That also includes inclusive folks because the playwrights will be here and they would like to see your work as well. So if you have any interest at all, if you would please contact me. If not this time, then another. And we will also be hosting them at rolling audition. So I will have additional dates. So if these don't work out for you, future ones hopefully will. But again, thank you all so much for coming. Matt, thank you for the gift of your plays. You are a phenomenal writer, and it's just such a joy to be able to bring them to life. And to the actors and our newest director, Queen, you've worked so hard over the past few weeks. Thank you. You know, it's hard, it's challenging on this virtual space, but you guys all rose to the challenge and very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Aimee, and for
Thank you for
everything
having
you
us.
do.
And
Thank
I'd like
you,
to
Aimee.
thank you,
you.
Matt, too. It was a pleasure. I hope I did you proud.
You did.
And
Great job.
I couldn't have had a better two guys, so thank you so much to them. And I look forward to doing it again.
Well, have a great week. Be safe, and we will see you next Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.